375 combined cubic inches. Total, 1,225 cubic inches. The Ranger, engineered with a low center of gravity to keep your bag upright. On-deck putter pocket, molded back panel, minimizes contact points. Volume storage compartment, 500 cubic inches. Total, 1,600 cubic inches. Limited lifetime warranty.
Oh. I'm just waiting for that feeling like you're waiting to. But I'm no answer to your question. Won't even bother asking you.
Barry going right at it, right down the middle.
But until then I can
Wow, it just hit the pole.
You're not down here alone. And you can't help me forget that I might have already missed you. Oh, yeah. Can you set me on fire? Can you put me to use? Can't you use me for something? Oh, wouldn't I be better off used? I know I'd be better off used. I was drinking when she was younger, a wedding in the rain. Of all the pictures that they took, not even one made it into a frame.
Thanks, Kenny. I got it all, man.
Yeah, baby.
Check it. Copy that. 1, 2. Check it. Check it. Standing by. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rolling.
Ready? Crazy.
Welcome to Santa Cruz, California for the 2011 PDGA World Disc Golf Championship. I'm Crazy John Brooks, inviting you to join us for this highly anticipated week of top-level disc golf here in beautiful Northern California. This year's field of 433 players from 14 countries competing for over $100,000 will be the all-time record in all three of these categories. We're in one of the most desired locations in the world for disc golf. Welcome to Pinto Lake, the shot maker's paradise.
As we see this gorgeous clearing here at the top of the 18th green, a massive gallery awaiting our top 4 men's players. Our leader, Nathan Doss of Santa Cruz. The line is absolutely epic. Some of our players just wondering how he does it. And over the edge and in for Doss, maintaining a strong lead here in the semifinals.
Current USDGC champion Will Schusterich.
Huge hyzer.
And it's in, ladies and gentlemen. It's a hole-in-one. Will Schusterich has dropped a bomb on the 417-foot number 9, right in front of an immense gallery. World Championship play, folks, in the top group.
These players exhibiting tremendous skills. Right underneath it.
His current leader, Paige Pierce. Derek Billings Jr. Your defending PDGA world champ, Eric McCabe. Santa Cruz resident, Valerie Jenkins. And current women's world champion, Sarah Stanhope.
And Doss buries it from the tip.
With talent at a peak at this year's #1 major, it'll be nothing short of a battle to determine our new champion.
Oh, that was sexy.
And it's turning back right at the basket, folks. And he drop it into the circle. Tuning it right at the base. And inside the circle.
And he does. That saves him some heartbreak.
And with confidence, it's going to carry him into trouble. And Josh Anthon. And a picture perfect tape and drive. Welcome back, folks, to Blue Lake Disc Golf Course here for the 2014 PDGA World Disc Golf Championships. An exciting day. We thank you for your patience, our viewers around the globe enjoying our live coverage here on the planet. A few technical difficulties can be expected, but anyway, our play is resumed, and the card very exciting. Our top ladies right now, Katrina Allen as well as Paige Pierce tied at 31 throws so far in the lead, though. In our top group, though, Ragna Bygde from Sweden is currently at 30, and Val Jenkins, last year's runner-up, strong player, here to perform, having some tough times early on in our first round. She's at 37 currently. We just completed the 10th hole. Our groups have taken to the course, our Grandmasters, women and men, as well as our female Pro Open division, well underway here at the World Championships. We're behind the tee of number 11. Another difficult forced carry hole, not a big distance, but very tricky twists and turns to the fairway. It's about 310 feet. We're watching some great distance display again. A little bit shaky start, a little bit of a shaky midsection of the round for Jenkins, but she's a fighter. Expect nothing from the best from our top ladies. This year's World Championships brought to you by Keen Footwear. I'm Crazy John Brooks, your host. Proud to be aside the best in the business. Terry Roddy on camera one here. Dustin Roddy and Andy Fairhoven here with our support. A couple of stumbles along the way, going back to number 7, star 4, very difficult hole, but some amazing putts up onto the hump, as it's nicknamed. And that was a great display, followed by a very short but tricky number 8. Jenkins taking a extra out-of-bounds throw on that as well. Here's Katrina Allen on the tee. Number 11, 310 feet. Check that, number 11, 475 feet. Thank you. Allen's made it around the bend, a safe section of the fairway. Number 11 has a steady turn from right to left. Pierce will hopefully use the right half of the fairway here, staying safe, out of bounds, again traversing the fairway on both sides. There's a gentle breeze evident to the flowing tape on the right side. It's a bit of a headwind. And it appears gobbling up the wind, staying well to the right. And that'll check up in the center nicely. You're looking at an energized Pierce. Big day after the misstep on 9. Check that. Hole 10 was an out-of-bounds par, as well as for Pierce. They almost aced the hole. And a few feet further than the Pierce drive, well placed. Valerie Jenkins wanting to absorb some of the weight of a couple extra throws earlier in the round. Last year's runner-up. Turning left. And that could be flirting with the out of bounds again. Fairly wide fairway, but these red stakes, all 4,793 of them, are telltale. As we see Jenkins staying well left of the tree in the center here. A bit of a beacon on the hole. Number 11 again, 475 feet. Your live coverage being brought to you by our very generous sponsors at Disc Golf Planet, Innova Disc Golf, and the Professional Disc Golf Association, working hard to bring you these live images. We appreciate your patience and your viewing from around the globe. Got some very distinguished guests following our top ladies. Jonathan Poole, Tournament Director of the United States Disc Golf Championships, with an exciting announcement on behalf of Disc Golf Planet and the USDGC. We'll disclose later today. Jenkins and Allen will take a look further up into the fairway. Catching up with our 950 group here at the bottleneck of 11. Fairway narrows down to about a 20-foot gap with only a walking path through the out-of-bounds area. Lenhart in tow with a big group of supporters. Woodard, Gunn, and Allison also in the group, having a great time. Not in tow with the same pressures as our top group. Looks like Allen may throw first. Followed by Jenkins, Pierce, and Bygde with the longest drive. Our camera's now showing you the narrow gap separating the main body of fairway. Looking through the gap, the pin tucked to the left. So players needing to look up and around. Taking a walk, Allen. Checking out some of the demand of the second half of the fairway on 11. As we now take our angle here, looking back, it looks to be Pierce to throw first, followed by Allen and Jenkins. Bygde still throwing fourth on the approach. You almost got to take a picture and bring it back and look at it.
Right? It's definitely a good thing to check it out. There's tons of red sticks out here.
See a lot of skinny stuff at the base of those trees.
This is where, far left it will take off.
Oh yeah, that's right. Just checking a word with Ragna Bygde on the setup here for the second shot. She's mentioned that the jungle, a big, very wooded area to the left of the pin, posing as equal a hazard as the tight OB on the right. There's Woodard's putt low, coming right back at her and almost goes out of bounds. Whoa! Tricky fairway. Number 11, Woodard will rethrow. Simply to say, she will shoot again. Taking the meter. Oh, and Woodard goes by. That's a quick two throws. Going out of the bag for Woodard. Allison having to wait again. Still have about 12 feet to close. Woodard in. For her double. Lenhart next. Looks like Allison lining up. Basic 14-footer. And square. Timer set as the 11th green clears. Set to resume play our top ladies. Having quite an interesting disembarkation on the title this week.
We're actually careful of being cut. Careful being in the way of the disc.
There's the first shot by Allen, I believe. Bear with me, I could stand to be corrected. Page eyeing up the distance. For about 190 feet, Paige Pierce approaching 11. Going left and short. She'll have that left for the approach. This is a par 4. Jenkins eyeing the gap. Very reachable for the birdie. She may be reaching to eliminate some of the extra throws from earlier in the round. Very accustomed to this style of course. And Jenkins just barely got around the inside of that forced carry. Another challenge of this hole, throwing to a blind pin location. Bygde with the only direct visual contact with the pin here on 11. Great drive, center of the fairway. Again, after 10 holes, Bygde with a 1-throw advantage over Pierce and Allen. Jenkins 6 back from second. Skies now becoming slightly overcast. Expecting showers later today. Bygde across the gap through the trees and within 10 feet of the pin. A great approach. There's a birdie opportunity for the swaying Swede here. 11th green again. Slow slope upward. Jenkins, Allen, and Pierce will all have uphill 35 to 40 footers. In a bit of a lull here on the green of 11, you'll see the breeze can go from barely anything to 5 to 10 miles an hour out in the open fairways. Pierce will shoot first. 38 feet. Just a very slight uphill grade to the green. Oh, it just glances on the left upper half of the chains. Safely there for par. Jenkins will shoot next. She'll have to go to the straddle position, avoid a slight obstacle. Here's the option. As you see, it'll be a knee or a straddle. Jenkins from 35 feet for birdie. just underneath, just a little more momentum. They could have carried up and over. Allen to putt next. It's really complimenting the approach by Bygde. See, distance not actually the key to success on this approach shot. Navigating these trees in front of the green, biggest obstacle. Here's Allen now from 33 feet for birdie. Just in on the backside. Just a tad of change is all it takes, folks. Great putt for birdie by Allen. That will take away that OB throw of number 10. Here's Bygde now. Fairly standard 12-foot putt for bird. And it glances left and stays in. Jenkins will now about 8 feet for her par. And it's in. And Pierce to follow as well. Safely in for 4. Great birdies by Allen and Bygde here on number 11. Tight fairway. More golf coming, folks. You're watching the World Championships live on Disc Golf Planet. We're behind Katrina Allen here on the hole 12. 275 feet to a very enclosed pin position. You see the trees totally surrounding the basket. Katrina staying way out to the right to settle in front. Wise choice. And she does get inside the grove. It seems to be the majority of the tactics here, to get inside the grove at any position. Bygde and Jenkins will most likely go for a skip into the grove. Slight uphill grade to the fairway. That's got to turn. And it's fallen well short of the entrance to the green area.
There's quite a bit of different types of surprises, if you will, access to the basket. Pierce will have a lot of energy behind this throw. Most likely try to penetrate. And fairly similar to the Allen result. Jenkins, slightly lower trajectory by standard. May get a little more skip value. Yeah, she's flipped it. There's a chance it could come back. That looks to be potentially safe. Did look at if it had caught the branch and kept it in the fairway. As we make our turn back towards 10, 9, and 8, our wind will make a bit of a reappearance, if you will. Moving from the tree groves out into the open. A little bit of a break for the players as well. It's hard to get a breeze generated unless you're walking. Similar to last evening's opening ceremonies where you could feel the gentle breeze when everybody was applauding. As we get closer here to the very guarded pin on 12, you'll see the Pierce and Allen tee shots penetrating this group of trees. They're about 20 feet out. Pierce has all of 60 to the pin. The last 25 feet, all wooded. Jenkins does remain safe, and she'll shoot second. Jenkins will shoot first. She goes to an inverted straddle from about 40 feet. And she'll be very safe for par. Bygde, Pierce, and Allen all clustered here about 6 feet apart. Pierce with about 26 feet. The wind is in her face. There's no actual straight line to the pin for her. She'll have to toss it up a little higher and descend right to left. Oh, big momentum potential there, but it takes a safe kick. Here's Bygde now, just about 22 feet. She's got to squeeze it in between a couple very thin trees. A gentle breeze in her face, a big momentum builder here. She can go birdie birdie. Just took first place in mixed doubles. And that putt seems to be working well. High and right. Very safe place for an into-the-wind putt. No chance of the wind taking it nose down. Allen, who teed first, will now putt last. She'll have to take a straddle. Again, there's a forced angle of release on the putt. There's Allen from 19 feet. A much needed two. Somewhat of a limited release space for the arm. Oh, nice touch. A little lofted putt. Never turned over. Always to guarantee that right to left finish. Pierce watching that from just a few feet away. Katrina building more momentum, if you will. Very tight hole. As we compare fixing to go into some of the more open areas. You're watching live here as we complete hole 12 for the World Championships. We'll be right back with our top ladies right after this. Yeah, we're following our second card of ladies here in the open division. Gunn from Oregon to shoot first. Allison Blakeman on the left edge of the fairway. I didn't see if she was out of bounds. However, it's right next to the edge. Appears to be safe with no mark. Without the mini there, evidence to no need to clarify the meter. Woodard just passed into the right of Gunn. Here's that recognizable sidearm and stance by Gunn, going right at it. I mean, right at it. Whew. Great approach. Woodard to shoot second. Had a little tough time on the release there. Pulled it way over to the right and low. About 200 feet the distance. This can take a skip on that dry dirt. Get up closer, closer, closer. Still about 20 feet away. Back to Blakeman. Well right. That could skip up tight. And it does. Kind of hit some chips and checked up a little slower than normal. Lenhart to shoot last as we approach the 13th green. A lot of friends and family in tow. The Lenhart legal gang. Another run right at the green. Well placed. Staying underneath the pin. Slight uphill grade once players reach the edge. Bit of a false front as we see the worn dirt here. Just drainage and what have you provides a different element. Here in Oregon, the rains have been infrequent this time of year. Temperatures well into the 80s and 90s. Not a normal situation for Rip City, and it's normally ideal summer conditions. We're just underway in our first day of this year's 2014 PDGA World Disc Golf Championships, our FPO division, the focus of today's live broadcast here on the planet. Appreciate you joining us from around the globe. This is our 950 tee time. Here's Woodard now from about 16 feet for 3. A hand low and left again, but sticky enough to stay in. Gunn was able to get enough distance to get her past the pin. She'll be coming back from about 12 feet. Have a chance to look back at the long fairway here. Also featuring a long tee. And there's that low release with the nose up for Gunn, safely in for par. Blakeman to match. And it's there. And here's the Lenhart putt to close out. Breeze picking up now as our conditions will change throughout the day, leaning towards rain showers, potential for thunderstorms beginning in that 4 to 5 p.m. window today, and potential for the same tomorrow. Back at the tee of 12 now. Katrina Allen ready to let one loose. .475 the distance. It's a par 4. Behind our ladies, you can see the long tee. .625 the total for that. For that long tee. Back to Bygde now. Plenty of distance here. We just saw her go 420 on hole 2. And it's flirting with the out of bounds. And that will cost her one as Bygde ends up shooting 3 for her second throw. And Paige will take note of that, that's for sure. Plenty of distance here. The wind is off the player's left shoulder and behind them. Ideal for the right-hander from Texas. I'm surprised that Allen didn't get it up higher and use more of the right half here to flex back towards the green. Our camera is perched above the mound to the left of the green from the player's vantage point. Here's Pierce. She does get it over. Will it come back? It is starting to flex back nicely. Tracking towards the green, but not enough distance. And that will cost Pierce another one. And will quell some of the momentum built. Off of 9 and 10, here's Val Jenkins. Would really like to clear the mind and empower the soul now. Very tough playing at the top. Look for this low to stay right. Flirting with the out of bounds, but that will check up short. She'll have about 150 feet left to approach the pier. The pin on 13. Our group, as they get closer to our cameras, folks, want to remind you this year's PDGA World Disc Golf Championships presented by Keen Footwear, a very powerful force in disc golf and professional ranks across the globe. We thank you for your support, as well as Innova Disc Golf, and a very vibrant group of world champions that founded the company and has brought success and been building champions for decades. Thank you also to the PDGA, our sanctioning mother organization, if you will, the umbrella, the big kahuna. Brian Graham speaking last night of the success disc golf is enduring currently, and also judged by the size of our field, over 640 players attending the Oregon annual finale, if you will, the end of our cumulative season. Of course, our next major right around the corner of the USDGC in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Jonathan Poole in tow with our ladies earlier today with some exciting news. We can break that later today or in the week, but some potentially a very exciting announcement for one of our viewers out there pertaining to this year's USDGC. Allen now from about 160 feet. Fairly flat terrain, but all sloping right to left from our player's vantage point. The wind is off her left shoulder and slightly behind her. Coming out a little low and early. We've seen a little bit of that from all of our ladies thus far today. First day, a little tough finding your groove. That's about where Pierce went in. He's got about another 15 to 20 feet before he can get to it. 10 feet. Should be getting very close to your left. Looks like he sees it. There's the course official. Straight towards us. And he's getting real close to it right there. To your left. To your left and closer to the fairway. Looks like they're going to leave that one be for now. Val Jenkins will want to shoot. Not sure why the spotter went up here that early, but he will take a knee and we'll quell that distraction. Actually, he's crouched down in the blackberries, so hopefully he can grab a snack. We'll go back to Jenkins now in the approach. Here on 13. Critical to get this one tight. She gets that up real slowly, gently approaching the pin. Great shot for Jenkins. Here's Pierce on the concur with Jenkins on that out-of-bounds entry point. From our vantage point, she had about another 10 or 15 feet before she entered the out-of-bounds area, but not my call. There's the perpendicular. Pierce now throwing 3. This is a par 4. Check that. 13, 475, par 4. And well left. To some. Slightly left to others. We're approaching the Bygde mark now. She is out of bounds. And there's the discovery for Bygde. She went in just a couple feet behind that discovery point. She'll take a meter perpendicular. The point of entry. Pierce also finding her drive herself in the thicket. Got quite a variety, I would say, of some vegetation that we have to look out for. Poison ivy, poison oak, and there's some other flowering types of ivies that will present some difficulty and discomfort for players. Bygde not worried too much about losing a throw, but wanting to guarantee a par here. Fairly standard approach to within 6 feet. And approaching the green now appears to be Ellen first. Here we're discovering order. Looks like Allen followed by Pierce. We're just a few feet away, if you will, from Marine Drive. That's the access point along the beautiful river. Some epic homes, houseboats, if you will, down on the river. Just incredible setting for this year's event. Here's Allen now for birdie 3. Up and in. And we'll take one of those extra throws off the card for Allen. Pierce will do the same. She'll be shooting for par. Just over the edge for Pierce. Jenkins and Bygde. Jenkins will have a birdie awaiting her and Bygde for par here. Sweden's pride and joy. and winning the mixed pairs championships this weekend with Will Schusterick. And Val Jenkins, a much needed birdie for Jenkins, and our ladies moved on to number 14. This is live coverage, folks, enjoying your patronage from around the globe. There's Sarah Nicholson, membership director. A lot of great folks here watching the action at the World Championships. It's disc golf all week, and you're watching live here on the planet.
Copy that, I relay to John. Just shoot the golf. We need to plug UB disc golf and dynamic disc. UB, University, Bear, U as in University, B as in Bear.
I'm just waiting for that feeling like you're waiting to. But I won't answer to your question, won't even bother asking you.
Barry going right at it, right down the middle.
But until then I can
Wow,
help you
just hit the
feel
pole.
that you're not down here alone.
Repeat that, you're all static.